Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to go ahead and start our first virtual day lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on science safety. So you'll have this video here. This will be the first thing on your Canvas page. And then you'll have all of these notes on your Canvas page too that you can look back on as you're doing the assignment. So science safety. Why do we need to learn about science safety? Scientists understand the importance of safety when in the lab. They follow safety rules at all times. Following these rules helps to prevent accidents, injuries, and unsuccessful experiments. Always practice science safety and follow all of these rules during science class. Now, what's the difference between these rules and the rules that we've talked about at the beginning of the year, like being respectful, listening to directions? Well, the difference is these are when we're doing our activities or our science labs. Like if you remember when we did our very first STEM activity with the spaghetti noodles and marshmallows and we tried to build our tower, that's when we would want to implement or use these science safety rules. So let's take a look together at what some of the science safety rules are. Of course, listen and follow directions carefully. Now, if you're not listening and following all the directions, then you may not know how to do something. And science activities and science labs are new to all of us, so we have to make sure that we are listening and following directions at all times. Always wear safety goggles and gloves. Now, that word always is a big word. So in our classroom, so when you're with me in Miss Lowe's science class, we're not always going to wear our safety goggles and gloves. Like just when we did our spaghetti noodle and marshmallows, we did not have a need to wear the gloves or safety goggles, right? Everything that we were working with was safe. It wasn't harmful. So anytime that we would wear safety goggles and gloves is if we were doing something that was maybe a little bit more intense and required the safety goggles and gloves. Never eat, drink, or smell the materials you are using. Yes, that's a big one. We talked about that when we did our STEM activity. We are not to eat or smell or drink or put the materials anywhere near our face as we're working on that activity. That helps keep us safe and our friends around us safe, and it helps us stay on task on what we're doing, right? If we're just eating all our materials, then we're going to run out of materials to do the activity. So it's really important that we're not eating, drinking, or smelling or having our materials anywhere near our face. Wash your hands when you finish. That's a big one. We had a lot of people when we did the STEM activity, our hands got sticky, right? We might get some sticky stuff on our hands. So after we get finished with the activity, we want to make sure that we wash our hands. I also recommend washing your hands before the activity too, especially when it's stuff that maybe we want to get our hands clean from earlier in the day, or if we're going to be sharing materials with our friends, we want to make sure that we're washing our hands and cleaning our hands before we get started. Keep your work area clean. Yes, that's a biggie. We have our caddies in here, as you can remember, but we like to keep those nice and neat. One, it helps us easily find our materials, and two, it just helps us and our friends around us have a neat area that we can work more efficiently at. Never play in the science lab. Yes, that's a big one. When we're doing labs or activities, like the STEM activity that we've done before, I keep referring back to that just to kind of give you an example of ways that we would use these safety rules. So we don't play with our supplies that we're given, right? We listen to directions and we want to do the desired task, because if I see that we're off task and we're playing with our materials, then we're probably not going to do activities like that, right? So it's important that we never play in the science lab. Now, think in your brain on why another reason would be why we do not play in the science lab or in our science classroom. Yeah, if you thought of you could get hurt, right? So if we're playing, we're usually like goofing off and we might be out of our seat. You could get hurt. That's a really good, big one. Why else? Yeah, you would maybe distract someone, right? Someone who's really trying to focus and not playing, you might distract them from doing their best work. Read all the directions before you start. Yes, that goes back to the very beginning, right? Read and listen to directions before you get started. And if you're confused on how to do something, then just ask, right? Clean and put away materials when you finish. Yes, we want to make sure that our materials are clean and put away after we finish the activity so that our room is nice and neat and we can move on. Never bring food or drinks into the lab. Now, this is one I let you bring drinks, right? I let you have your water. As long as you're bringing it in and just putting it underneath the seat when we're doing the activities. That's all I ask. Now, in science class, I allow you to drink your water whenever you need. But whenever we're doing these labs or these activities, just make sure that you put your water bottle off the working table as we complete the activities. Now, that's all for the rest of the assignment. You'll want to do your activities on Canvas, okay? So these rules were kind of vague. That means that they weren't super specific, right? So a lot of different things can fall into these categories. So just like when it said never play in a science lab, you can probably infer or understand from that that it also means do not run in the science lab or do not goof off in the science lab, right? That you can infer from that. So I hope this lesson was helpful for you. If you have any questions on completing your Google form, please let me know and I will help. I hope you have a great day. Bye.